Okay, so today's video, we're going to talk about starting a business. So we already kind of talked about salary and taxes and investments and stuff like that. And we just did a kind of brief overview. We'll go over it in detail on other videos, but we now we're gonna start talking about, you saved up all your money in your investments, and now you're gonna take that money and start your own business, right? So this video is going to be called Day One. It's like the very first day you start your business, right? So keep day one mentality. Now, what I mean by that is on day one, you have to struggle and work quick and fast and hard and cheap and grind just to find a little bit of business, because you're just trying to scrape by and work as fast and as hard as you can to get money coming in, and you're not even worried about profits at this point. You just need money coming in, period, right? So you need to keep that day one mentality, because that's what happens is a lot of companies, especially like say Fortune 500 companies, they get so big, they get lackadaisical, and they quit having that day one mentality of we got to do things better, faster, easier, cheaper, go, 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 go. Like they lose that mentality. They go, well, let's stop and think this through, and like they get very lackadaisical, and they get bloated with a bunch of employees who aren't really working hard and just collecting a paycheck and not really pulling their weight and stuff like that. So keep day one mentality. Do as much as you can, as fast as you can, the best you can, as cheap as you can. No holidays, no days off, anything like that. Every day in the beginning counts. Every second counts. You don't have time to take days off. You have to make money. Think of business as your baby, right? Business is your baby. You have to feed the baby. You have to make money. You have to feed the baby money to keep the baby alive. Without money, the baby dies. So that means you can't make a salary yet. Most people work the other way around. They start immediately making money and then they take the money. Well, if you take the money and there's no money to pay your bills and your employees or whatever in the beginning of your business, that business isn't going to be around for you to keep making a paycheck. So you have to be the last one to get paid. You got to pay your utilities and your taxes and your insurance and your vendors and your employees and everybody like that. Then maybe if there's enough profit left over, you can take a salary. And actually in the beginning, you're probably not going to be taking a salary. Like Grandma and Grandpa, when they first started the insurance business, they had $27 to their name. They had to work so hard, day in, day out, every night, every day, working late, working early, working hard. Are you listening? Quit messing with the dog. And so, that's the kind of mentality you have to have. You have to be like, I only have $27. I got to hurry up and make money now. Go, 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 go. So that's kind of the mentality you have to have. One thing you can do to make yourself better, faster, easier, cheaper is have more technology. If you could have a piece of software, or not even just technology, but a tool, it could be a shovel instead of digging with your hand, but you get my point. Have a tool that makes it easier, faster, better, cheaper for you to do the work, because then you can do the job. One person can do the job of 3 people. You can do it faster, you can do it better, you can do it easier, you can do it cheaper, all that stuff. So more technology, better tools, all that stuff. Trust but verify. I put that on there because in the beginning, you have to kind of have some kind of trust in order to do business. If you're constantly just thinking, oh, people are out to get me, and I have to like hoard everything and stuff like that, you have to have some trust. You have to have some faith in the beginning. Otherwise, you're never going to grow. You have to have some trust. It's so dark right here. Let me scoot over here where I can see have a little bit more light. Oh, so much better. When starting as a one-man business in the beginning, every hour open should be marketing. Okay, so no one knows you're a business. Like just because you say I'm a business, just because Grandpa always says just because you hang a shingle and write your name on it doesn't mean you're in business. You have to tell the world, you have to tell them loud, proud, and fast. Until you start making sales. And then it should be about 50-50, right? So let's say you're starting to market and you're telling everybody, hey, here's my product and my service. And, now say you're working 80, 100 hours a week, right? Seems like a lot, right? 80, 100 hours a week, that's like 16-hour days, 5 days a week, or 16 hours, 6 days a week. And so actually in the beginning, sometimes it's more like 16 hours every day of the week. That's in the beginning. That's what owning a business means. It means providing for that baby. If I didn't provide for you 7 days a week when you were first born, you would have died. I had to provide for the baby. Businesses are the same. You have to provide for the baby, right? But let's say you get to the point, and I'm not talking about just like 1 week. I made it a week to where I did 50% marketing and 50% sales. No, it has to become a pattern, like 3 months, 6 months. So every week you start seeing this pattern. Oh, I'm doing some marketing and I'm doing some sales, and it's about 50-50. Well, once you're kind of doing a little bit more sales, then you might want to hire a marketing person. And then hopefully they'll be as good as you marketing, and then that'll lead into more sales where they're doing 50-50. And then you hire another marketing person, another salesperson, another marketing, and it just kind of pyramids, right? After sales and you start servicing, should be 50-50. So let's say you're doing the sales, you're making the sales now, you're signing contracts, or you're making, financial transactions, whatever. Now you're providing the goods or the service, right? So now you're going from sales to the service, or I should say production and service, production or service. And that starts doing the 50-50 rule. And again, not just 1 week, but a pattern of weeks for like 3 to 6 months kind of stuff. Then you may want to hire another marketing person that makes another salesperson, makes another service person. And you are phasing yourself up and out, right? So you're going from marketing, and then your sales, and you hire marketing. Then you go to service. Now you hired another marketing person, made that person sales, and now you're in the service. And you see what I'm saying? It's a pyramid. I don't say a pyramid scheme, like that's people trying to rob people, but it is a layered dynamic. It's a layered approach. Then hire someone to do service.
What section are you in?
Well, if you were reading along with me,
well, I tried to at first, but it was.
Go down to line 4. See where it says, and start service. It should be 50-50.
Okay, yeah.
Pay attention. Then hire someone to do service. Then marketing, then sales, management, accounting, and work your way to 100% board member. So that's kind of the layers. It goes marketing, sales, service, management. So then you have a manager who manages all the people and says, okay, I'm making sure the service people are doing services, the sales are doing sales, the marketing is doing marketing, right? So then you have, after that, you have accounting. Those are the people who are the penny counters. They're counting all the pennies and going, okay, we spent this money here, we made this money there. This is what cost us money, this is what made us money. We need to do less of this, more of that. That's what accounting's for, right? And then you work your way to a board member. Now, actually, to where you're just 100% board member, I should say. You're a board member. When you start a business, you are the board member. You're the CEO, you're the founder, you're the president, you're all these in the beginning. You're all these. But you want to work your way up to where you are just doing board member stuff, right? And we'll get to that in just a minute. Hire people that do it better than you for the same price or cheaper amount of money, but require more work out of them. So like when you hire, once you go from marketing to sales, sales to service, right? You want to hire somebody for the same price or maybe even a little bit less than what it costs you to do it, right? Because you want to try to make a profit. We're not just here to break even. We want to make a profit. So hire somebody that, preferably you want to pay them about the same as what it costs you to do it. But now you have perfected your craft. You have ironed out all the wrinkles, and you have laid out the path for them. So it's not guesswork for them anymore. So they already have that learning curve cut for them, and they can go ahead and say, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is when I'm supposed to do it. This is how I'm supposed to do it. This is why I'm supposed to do it, right? So then they can come in and hopefully do it even better, faster, easier, and cheaper than you did for the same price, right?
Faster.
Make sense?
Staying, I'll be right back.
Make sense? Okay. Then advance to management and accounting, and then board member. Okay. Then when you can't grow anymore, that's when you go public. This is kind of the general rule of thumb. This is what happens to a lot of companies is you're a private company and you've grown your business, you've grown your business, and you've gotten to the point where you can't really organically grow anymore. You're marketing as far and as wide as you can. You're providing all the sales and the service and the management and the accounting. You're doing it all, and you just can't seem to grow anymore. That's when you go public. Going public means being on the stock market, right? Never sell more than 49.9%. Why do you sell less than 50%? Why do you never sell 50% or more of your business?
Because then you don't own the majority.
Right. If you own 50.1% of the business, you technically own 100% of the business, because if there's ever a decision that needs to be made, you're the tiebreaker. You're the decision maker. Unless you're quitting the business or dying. If you're getting out of the industry or out of the business altogether, or you're dying, sure, then sell every share you got. Sell them all. It doesn't matter at that point. You're out. Game over. That's called an exit strategy. Make personal connections with as many people as you can, right? And because you're going to meet people along the way that are helpful, that have insight, that you may even be in a different industry, but you go, hey, I can apply that to my industry, stuff like that. When you go to hire in the ranks, you have less time for everyone. Let me read that again.
You read it right.
Yeah. I wrote this down, and now I'm trying to remember what I meant by it. When you go to hire in the ranks, you have less time for everyone. I'm not really sure what I meant from that one. Let's go ahead and move on. So make personal connections with them and teach them to do it with their subordinates. Okay, I know what I meant by that. Is as you go up in the ranks, you get more and more busy, and you don't have time for the small decisions. You don't have time for day-to-day grind work. So you have less time to do that because you're busy making the bigger decisions. So as you hire, these management people, they're the ones who are going to be doing the hiring and the managing and the firing and all that stuff. And so you hire these managers to manage. That's their purpose. So you really need to make sure you hire a good manager. Can make or break a company, because if you have somebody who doesn't do their job, they're like, you're the big boss, they're the medium boss, and the other people are the workers. And if they're not making sure the workers do anything, then everything you get at the end of the day, you're finding out in a delayed time. So the damage has already been done. So you need to have a good manager. So the good manager will go to them and kind of pick them up and say, hey, this is how we do it. This is why we do it. This is when we do it and stuff like that. And then the manager will come back to you and say, hey, this is what we're doing. And I think we can maybe even take it a step further. Like they're your eyes and your ears, right? So now let's talk about departments. Well, before we get there, so each person is paid $10.99 once every 2 weeks. Most people are salaried, like they're W-2s, but honestly, I prefer, if you can, $10.99 as many people as you can. So do you remember what W-2 and 1099s are?
No.
1099 means you're a subcontractor. You technically don't work for the company. You work for yourself, but you're doing work for me. So I'm contracting the work out to you. A W-2 person is an employee. You work for me at my office, at my business, whatever. A 1099, you're technically like a separate business. And I like that because, one, if they screw up and you want to fire them, you're not actually firing them, you're just ending their contract. So now you don't have to worry about unemployment. Also, you don't have to worry about a lot of other things like workers' comp, insurance cost, stuff like that. You still do get charged for subcontractors on workers' comp. But anyway, that's a different story. But there's a whole lot less strings and red tape attached. So try to 1099 as many people as you can. Pay more than anyone in the surrounding area to travel for work, but less than the cost to travel. So if you want to have the best people that work for you in your area, if your business is one of those where it can't work remotely, okay. If you want to, if you have a job where you can't work remotely, but you want the best in the area to work for you, you have to pay more than everybody else in that area, but less than the cost to travel. Or pay the most remotely, but still for better performance than you for the same or cheaper. So if you are going to hire someone to do work remotely, you want to pay them the most that people who work remotely in that industry make, but you're going to have higher standards on them. You're going to want them to do things better, faster, easier, cheaper, because if I'm going to pay you the top dollar, and then I expect top dollar performance, right? Okay. Give bonuses and rewards and compliments for exceeding goals individually or as a department, daily, weekly, monthly, and annual. But those goals need to be laid out in black and white and written. I expect this. If you do X above this, you'll get Y. If you do X above this, you'll get Y. You have to set the goals out in clear black and white so they know what to shoot for. And you could even have a graduating scale. If you do X, you'll get Y. If you do, X plus 2, you'll get Z, stuff like that. Pay for ideas to increase business as a whole. So if someone comes up to you and has an idea and says, I have this idea and it's going to save you $10,000 or it's going to make you $10,000, then maybe you might want to, give them $1,000, right? And what that does is it gives people the incentive to think about what's best for the company, because it's also what's best for them, right? So you want to have these incentives in place. And I've done that many times before. Someone's come up to me and been like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, that just made me $18,000. Here you go, and you need to kind of find the break-even point. You actually need to do the research and not just be like, oh yeah, that'll save me $10,000, because what they think will save you $10,000, when you actually go and do your homework and you're like, it's actually going to save me or make me $5,000. So do your research before you just pay people out. Each person needs to take a test to see what they know and don't. Then work and study in order to improve until they're at 90 average to get that position. Basically, what I used to do is I would have tests for people, and it was like a Google Forms thing, and I would create a Google Forms, and I wouldn't even promote you to the next thing until I knew that you had a mastery of the next position and your current position before you can kind of move up. Let's see. Each person should work moving up each department. If no work, I didn't word that correctly. Each person should work moving up each department if no work is left done with daily, weekly, monthly, and annual tasks. Basically, what I mean there is if you're a marketing person and you have no work to do, which is rare, you can always, if you really like try hard and find it, you'll find more work to do. But let's just say you have no work to do and you're a marketing person. Go help the salesperson. Let's say you and all the salespeople have no work to do. Go help the service people. You and all the service people have no work to do. Go help the management people. If you have no work to do, work your way up the departments. If everyone's worked up as far as they can go, it may be time to lay someone off and demote people. I know no one likes that. Firing, demoting, all that stuff is like one of the hardest parts about owning a business. But if you're constantly don't have any work for people to do, you can't just pay them to do no work. Sorry, Charlie. Start at the lowest department and least efficient, and working your way up departments. Ask individuals daily, weekly, monthly, and annual what would make their jobs easier. If they don't respond to one a week, fire them. Now let me explain that. So I used to go to people and ask people like, hey, name one thing about your position that would make your job better, faster, easier, and cheaper. Most people sit there and go, duh, because most people don't really care about their jobs. They're just sitting there collecting a paycheck. Well, you're telling me that you sit here 40 hours a week working, 40 hours a week and collecting a paycheck, and you can't think of one thing that would make your job better, faster, easier, and cheaper? When I would come in those meetings, man, I would have notebooks of just like just sheet after sheet of idea after idea. And I would just start going through and just working on that until I marked that one off. And just like, and if you're just sitting there going, one, either you're not that smart or you're not that dedicated. One or the other, either way, you don't belong here. That's all I'm saying. Each position needs manuals and scripts. This is very important. You need manuals. This is how the job's done. You don't know how the job's done and no one can readily help you right then and there, refer back to the manual. Scripts. You don't know what to say, read the script. Sometimes you have to read the script verbatim until you burn it in your brain to where you can put it in your own words, or maybe even better words for that in particular situation. But so many times people just go like, they're just kind of order takers. They're at McDonald's and they're just like, you want a number 3? Okay. They don't even ask you like, hey, you want fries with that? Hey, you want an apple pie with that? Hey, you want a 10-piece chicken nuggets with that? Like, upsell or provide more products and service. They're usually just sitting there going, whatever you say, like just mindless robots. You want people who have a brain, who can think outside the box and work hard and are passionate and dedicated to the company and a team player and all that stuff. So you can put the scripts in your own words, but needs to be the same basis. Make a point system to rank people to decide to promote, demote, and fire. I used to do that all the time by using the Google Forms and having people doing like quarterly exams or quarterly reviews, I should say. And it's a point system. If you're below a 70, if you're above a 90, it's a point system. Okay, so now we're going to actually get to specific departments. and then we're going to kind of wrap it up here pretty soon. So owners and board members. This is the very first person of the business. It's you. It's the owner, the CEO, the president, the founder, the board member. Board members are only paid shares. They don't get paid salary. Not good board members. Good board members don't rely on salaries. They want shares, because it's like give a man a fish and he eats today. Teach a man to fish and he eats for a lifetime. Give a man a salary and he makes $1 today. Give a man a share and he'll grow that share till it's exponentially higher. And then when he cashes that share in, it'll be worth a whole lot more than that $1 you got today. It'll be worth $1 million later. You see what I'm saying? So good board members only get paid in shares. They also decide mergers and acquisitions. Mergers and acquisitions is like, say you're in negotiations with another company to buy them and you merge with them. So say McDonald's and Burger King decided to merge and they became McBurger King. That would be a merger, right? An acquisition.
That is a horrible.
I know it's just a real basic, simple concept. An acquisition is if McDonald's and Burger King were buying each other and then they just turned all the Burger Kings into McDonald's. That's an acquisition. You're buying it outright instead of combining. Mergers are combining, acquisitions are buying. They also decide, whether the company takes on loans or debt, sells shares, that kind of stuff. They also set company vision, goals, and agendas. They're the ones who are putting the outline of what the company thinks, says, and does. So you want as few people on the board as possible. There's so many of these Fortune 500s that'll have like 30 people on the board and everybody's arguing and backstabbing each other. It's fucking horrible. You really want one board member. But if you have to have more than one board member, typically you want to keep it in the family. Have a husband and wife and kids. That's it. That's the board. It's the family. That's like that's how Walmart did it when they first started. They it was the family. Now there's more than just the family there, but anyway. They also meet with accountants and managers to check daily, weekly, monthly, and annual progress. Check how to automate everything, increase revenue and profit, increase value. Check what industries to go into, reduce costs, and have a third party do work if.
You messed up your grammar.
Yeah, I know. Confused myself there. But also, here's the big thing is, so you become a board member, just because you're a board member doesn't mean you're too good to scrub toilets. Just because you're a board member doesn't mean you're too good to do the marketing, the sales, the service, the management, the accounting. You have to be willing to jump in any position at any time to do whatever it takes to keep that baby alive. Right? Okay. So the last department we're going to talk about. So you've opened a business. You've decided you're a board member. You've decided, who's the secretary, and we'll go into all that later. Who's the secretary and who's the president, and the minutes and all the boring stuff. Who has what certain percentage of shares and all that vision and all that stuff. Now you decide to get down to the brass tacks. Let's get to work. So you start marketing. Day one. This is the daily grind work. You start marketing. This should be your second largest department. I always think your largest department should be your sales department. I think you should have about one for every three. This is kind of general rule. I mean, it's different for every, business and industry and stuff like that. But for the most part, you want one marketing person for every 3 salespeople you have, because they should be able to provide enough leads for the salespeople to close the deal, close the sale, make the sale. But anyways, they should learn the marketing script and manual. They should know that by heart, because when people ask them questions, they can just bam, bam, bam. People don't want to do business with people that don't know their own business. Market online, social, email, text, fax. The first people you should market to is yourself. Can you sell yourself your own product? Like insurance, in my example. Sell myself auto, home, life, commercial. I had all my own business, because if I can't sell my own product or service to myself, how the hell can I justify selling it to anybody else, right? So the next people you should sell to is your family. You should be calling them, emailing them, text them, and if they don't buy, text them, call them whatever, once a month or once a quarter, and, remind them or hit them back up. Your family. After your family would be your friends. Then you market to businesses. The reason I like business to business marketing is because it has a very simple trickle down effect. So you're a business owner, I'm a business owner. I come to you and I say, hey, I've got a product or service. And then you go, okay, I like your product or service. I want to buy it. And I go, great. Hey, do you mind if I go and talk to all your employees about my product and service? And they go, you know what? You did such a good job for me. Yes. All right. Let me go set up a day or time or whatever. Or let me just go right now. Hell with it. I got nothing to lose. Let's go right now. But if you can't do it right now, set up a date or a time and then go talk to the employees and say, hey, I just, provided, the boss with whatever product or service. Is that something you would be interested in? Here's what we offer. Here's what we do, start giving them the pitch and stuff like that. And then they either say yes or no, and you start talking to all them. And then all the while you're going down the line with their employees, you're also going vertical. You're going, hey, what about your family or friends? You got any family or friends that I can talk to? So you're spreading a network. You're spreading a web of business. And the more people you talk to, the more sales you're going to make, the more service you're going to do, the more production you're going to do, the more management you're going to. It's a numbers game. You have to talk to people. You have to stay talking to people, and you have to keep going until you're the richest goddamn person in the world, because you're the best guru in that industry. So, make sense? Yes, no? Okay. Let's see, where did I leave off? Then marketed business, then repeat with a different word. I don't even know what I meant by there. Tell about referral incentives. That's where I was talking about, asking to talk to their employees and their family and their friends and stuff like that. Always have some kind of referral incentive. Hey, if so-and-so buys from me, you'll get 10% off your next blah, 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 whatever. I don't know. Have some kind of referral incentive. Ask for referrals, employees, family, friends. Already went there. Ask employees for all right. Get salespeople to do quote now, or product service. I put quote, but if you're talking to the person and they say, yeah, I want to buy it, why would you stop right there and go, okay, that's great. I'm gonna have someone else contact you later. No, finalize the sale. Strike while the iron is hot. If they say, yes, we want to buy your product or service, you immediately get a salesperson and get that sale made. If you can't get a salesperson, you just became the salesperson. You get the job done. Okay. Look for other business practices in the same or other industries and departments that will help us. So that's what I was talking about, being connected with other people. Is you want to talk to as many people as you can in the same industry and different industries, because you're going to learn from their mistakes, their successes, their practices, what you can, apply, what you can take away, what you can take out, what you can perfect. And all you're doing is business is a sculpture. and you're just sitting there chipping and chipping away, and then you have a pretty little sculpture, and now you're polishing it, and now you have this beautiful sculpture, and next thing you know, you're the goddamn Michelangelo of your industry. You're the guru. You're the one everyone wants. You're the man or woman. And then finally, look for other industries that will feed into your current industry. So like insurance. Well, you're going to want mortgage and real estate and title companies and appraisers and inspectors. You want, that's called, I lost the word. I can't remember if it's vertical or horizontal, well, it's not marketing, but it's called a horizontal, business model. Whereas a vertical one would be like having an insurance agency and an insurance company and a reinsurance company and, stuff like that. So you have vertical and horizontal business models. I'll skip that one. But anyways, so that's pretty much it. That is day one mentality. You have to keep those ideas in your head. You have to be the board member. And that's all just the ideas, the shit on paper. But then you got to get down to brass tacks and start marketing. So the next one we're going to go over is sales. We're going to talk in more detail about sales and how to, you're always day one, but it's day one, step 2, step 3. And you're just, like I said, it's just a sculpture you're making. You're just chiseling away. Then you're polishing. Then you're just perfecting your craft and you're becoming the guru. So, all right, cool. All right, guys, subscribe, share, comment, like.